There are two bears in the country of cherry blossoms. The pink petals flying all over the sky, the nostalgic train passing through the glorious cherry blossom tunnel, and the sweet and delicate desserts in the old store. These all become the part of them. Alright guys, we got one that was on request. Theater box. I've never heard of them until you guys suggested it. Thank you very, very much. These are really, really cool. I picked out the little cherry blossom one. I thought that was the cutest one of the bunch. I think I got this was an Amazon. It wasn't too bad. No, actually, I think I got this one off of Temu. It was like 20 bucks, maybe, max. Couldn't be more than that. So let's go ahead and open this up. And of course, we got the box for the box theater. It's just kind of like the best thing I can say is like a big Altoids box. Comes with this little bear, and come to find out, it is the stand for it. Very cute. One day, maybe I'll paint it. And then all the usual little parts and pieces. Now for this one, if you're thinking of doing the box theaters, it is, okay, what's the smallest we've done? So like the little Harry Potter, the Owl House, that's small scale. Think 3 times smaller than that. This is small, 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 small. I was reading through the booklet and it says it has a bottle of glue. I did not get one, which is perfectly fine. I'm just going to use my glue. All my glues are pretty much leftovers from previous kits that did provide glue. So just find yourself some good sticky glue that dries semi-quick. You don't really need a whole lot of glue in this one, just because of the small scale. But because things are tiny and you just need a real dibble-dabble. Just a teeny bit. So this is very good discipline for a globby gluer like me. And just to get the sense of the scale, these are the little bears that go in there. It's small. But this one's a fun one. And there's only one light. And it's just a fairy light that goes around the edge. Easy, easy, easy. So speaking of lights, mine did not come with batteries, and it's fine because I buy mine in bulk at Costco, and you know I got tons of these little tiny things of all different sizes. If you do enough kits, as many as I do, you're gonna have a whole box of batteries, AAA's and little disc batteries. And like I said, there's only one light, and it's this one, and I'm gonna test it here. Ta-da! Make sure it works before we get too involved. Nothing worse than building your whole thing and then finding out it doesn't even work. And this is pretty much it for the wood pieces. We're used to these. It's just smaller. That's all. Okay, the first thing we're going to build is the little base. So at the bottom, if you picture the tin, it's like a picture frame. The very bottom is going to hold our battery pack and our little switch. So in order to get that to all fit in, we have just a slightly, like, maybe not even an inch little border at the bottom. So we're going to glue in the switch right where the hole is. Make sure everything's facing the right direction. The directions are pretty good on this. I didn't have any problems. Now, you'll notice that this piece has like lines on it. That goes on the outside. So that's the printed side, if they have anything that says that. I have had to a couple times just reference the back of the book, the full picture page, just to see where it ends up ultimately. But see what they were going for, to what it's supposed to look like. But not too bad. I've had worse kits where I was like, what do you mean? This one's pretty straightforward. And this piece is going to be for the little label or the sign, I guess, to tell you what it is. This does not get glued into the project. So this is basically your door to access your battery pack. All right, now let's just glue in the one side, and it does fit exactly in there. I used my clear alcohol-based glue. It's kind of a gel super glue because, you know, sticking anything to metal, you want the strongest possible. If you use E6000, that would work too. Just be aware that I guess it wouldn't matter on this one, but it will discolor metal. This gets all covered up, but still, just be wary. And it smells, so. I like E6000. It's just only for certain applications. And just like any other wiring that we've ever done, we should be professional miniature electricians by now. We're just going to match white to white, gray to gray, expose the copper wiring, and twist it together. I then test it before I seal it up, and then just use, they do have tape that provided. I can't find my box of shrink tubes somewhere, so I have been not using them lately, purely because I can't find them. But they got pretty good tape, so just tape up the ends, test it again, and you can go on your way. Now I'm going to officially glue it in there. I kind of pre-fit it before. And I tried using the regular tacky glue and it popped right off. So I'm going to, like I said, I switched to my other glue here. Something a little bit stronger. You don't really want, especially for a switch area, you want that sucker to be in there because you're going to be messing with that a lot. Turning it on and off and showing off to your friends. And then we're going to do the other side. It fits right in there. And it definitely has, so you're going to notice when you put the little backing on these blue-green color pieces, your wires tuck underneath those. So it's all nice and neat and tidy. And then you just put your little sign there. And that's your door. And full disclosure, this thing popped out all the time on me, so don't feel bad. In fact, I think later on down the line, I just leave it off. And then put it back in when I'm all done. All right. And this is just going to be the ground where all of our things are going to be. So we're going to seal in the top, the floor, I guess. You just put your paper on and then put it on. Make sure you have this facing the right direction. You'll notice that there's 3 corners that have little divots. That's where your wires and the edge of the tin fits. And there's always a reason for the order that we do things. We're going to put the backing in, the pretty picture of our little Japanese area. Could it be Kyoto, maybe? I don't know. And you can see there what I mean is that little door on the front just pops off all the time. I mean, it's meant to be taken on and off all the time, but so I'm just going to put it in later. Don't stress about it. Just make sure that this is facing the right direction. Like I said, the little divots, they dictate where you put it. I almost put it in backwards. There you go. And it should look a little something like that. Now we're just going to glue the lights in place. So there's 2 spots on that picture that are probably the more important. All the rest you can put wherever, but there's 2 little squares, and so I just glued it specifically there. You'll have to bend it in place to make sure it lines up. It'll make sense later when there's a house that goes on it, and there's little holes in the house that fit exactly right there. So if nothing else, those 2 spots should be right where they say. The rest, you just wrap it around, and it's just to illuminate the rest of it. But those 2, important placement. All right. This is where you realize how small this is. We're going to make a whole bunch of little food, like mochi and different things like that. Sushi. So these little squares are plates or dishes. And you're going to see on that piece of paper as well, there's signs and different things like that. So just pack your patience. I'm very used to using my big scissors. I know I could get tiny little scissors specifically for this. This is just what I grew up with, is using ginormous scissors. And it's funny story. I'm left-handed, and in school at the time, they tried to force me to not be left-handed. Yeah. Anybody else going through that? So I learned how to use scissors right-handed. I'm ambidextrous. Yeah. There's some things I do right-handed, and I write and do a lot of things with my left hand. Anyway, they couldn't break me. I'm still left-handed. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop this little guy into 3s, and then you're going to chop that flower one and just basically cut the petals off. I'll be honest, don't worry about being perfect at all. They're so tiny. Again, those are 1-inch squares that you see there on my grid. They're so tiny, and they get tucked in that you barely could see them. So just do your best. A nice sharp X-Acto knife is your friend. It's pretty soft. It's like almost like a eraser material. And then we're going to place all our little tiny food onto our little tiny plates. I use my little cat tin here. It's actually a little dollhouse plate tray, I guess. I use it all the time. It's so handy to put all your tiny little things so that it doesn't roll all over your table. But just put a small tip is to make, especially for these teeny tiny things, put just a little dabble of glue on your plate here, or whatever you want to use, and then dip it. It's a lot easier than trying to use the whole container. You have a little more control. And we have all our little plates of goodies. I'm sure they're all delicious. Now let's put it on our shelf. And you'll see what I mean. Even if it's not perfect, it still looks cute. You got the idea of what it is. There's a little tiny sign that goes on the top there. So you just cut that and then fold it in half and then glue it to the top. Ta-da! It's so small. It's very satisfying to do this one. I know it's small and it could be tricky for some, but boy, you get really proud once you're done. And now we're making little curtains. You've probably seen on like Japanese restaurants and things like that. There's little short curtains that go over the top of the doorways so that you have to bow to go inside. And then you got your little sign. I always try to glue on the printed side just to cover it up. You could do it either way, because it's not going to show the backing. It's just how I do it. All right, we're going to make a tiny little lantern. And boy, howdy, do I love my new quilling tool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, I listen to your suggestions all the time. You guys always have helpful hints, and I'm slowly evolving and growing and getting smarter purely because of you guys. So I do take your suggestions to heart. And this little quilling tool has become my new best friends, especially when you're rolling things this small like this. My needle nose pliers just wouldn't do justice. So you're basically going to make a little tiny tube, and then you're going to put a wire, kind of a U-shaped wire within it as the hanger. And this is what I mean. It's weirdly satisfying when you finish something so tiny, so cute. It's like, I made that. All right, now we're going to make some signs and things. So what you're going to do is take a piece of this crepe paper and just roll it up like a snake. This is going to be the pole, the wood pole. So I just twist it up like so. I kept it long, and then I just cut it down to size. And then the other end of the piece that I cut off here, I'm using it later on down the line because you're going to need another piece like this for another plant. Once you got your pole, then you got to put your little sign. Who can translate? What does it say? I guess I could Google Translate. I'm sure it says, sweets here or something like that. And I do look at the pictures. I can't read Japanese. I'm learning. I am learning. But I try to make sure, according to the picture, it's not upside down. That's the only tricky part. It's like, is it right side up? There we go. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make a tree this time. It's not that hard. These are easy plants we can do. So you're going to get the long stem, glue it, roll it up, and that's our trunk. And then you're going to smush it down into like a crooked shape, like a tree. It's a bonsai, I guess it would be. Glue it into your little bead here, and then how I did the top is I put a bunch of glue on the tip there, and I just dunked it in the moss, and then whatever stuck, that's what's going on there. That was the easiest way I could do it. This little table, oh, there's a name for it. It's a table that has a heater underneath. I love the concept of it. I do one day want to visit Japan. In fact, I think we're gonna plan in a couple years. So I've been slowly learning Japanese and things like that. I just love it. It's beautiful. I want to go one day. But this table was probably the hardest one for me of the whole thing to make. So you glue the wood piece on top, that's your tabletop, and then you flip it upside down, put your little feet, and the tricky part, because it's so tiny, is you need to make it fold down. For this part, pack your patience. I had to do one side at a time, so just kind of glue it up, hold it there, there you go, just like that, and then do the other side, and then just keep going all the way around. Because it did not want to stick for me for a while. It took a while. And once it's done, it should look a little bit like that. Something like that. And then we're going to put some stuff on top. Remember all the food we made? Well, we're going to serve some up. And now we need a TV, right? Of course you do. So the only part you missed there is there's two pieces of wood that you glue together, sandwich them together. And then you're going to cut two pieces of wire. One's the black wire and one's the gold wire. And you're going to make V's. The black wire is going to be the feet at the bottom, and then the gold wire is the antennas at top. And then you're just going to put the front on it very, very carefully. I tell you, how many times did I hold my breath doing these things? I have done things where you're doing it and then you just go, and whoo, it blows into the wind. And you're like, no. And this would be even worse. They're tiny. So we're gonna make a couple seat cushions. They have great little templates, and you could either cut them out, or I just use it to eyeball it. And you're gonna get 2 pieces of this little yellow polka dotted, and then you're gonna fold them up into little squares. And I'm going to clamp those, and I'm going to set them aside to dry. You don't need them for a while. All right, now we have another little cabinet, and this one's got, it's kind of got a drawer, or not a drawer, I guess. It's this green polka dotted, so you're going to make like a U shape. It's kind of a staple shape, and then you're going to put them in the holes in the top there. Kind of fills in the top 2 shelves. And now what we're going to do is basically like rolled up pieces of fabric, probably, I don't know, material for your kimonos or something like that, tablecloths. So we're just going to fold them in half and then put them on the shelf. We have this little bead. It's usually used for a doorknob, but right now it's a bowl. And once you get those in there, ta-da, you have a cute little cabinet. And we have one more shelf to do. This one's easy. We're just going to sandwich these 2 pieces together. You're going to notice that I get more and more glue on my hands as I go. Now we're just going to put the little fronts on. Probably the, like the drawer fronts. The cabinet fronts. We got one more little tree. Remember that little piece we cut off the flag pole? I saved it. I just put it in my little tray here, and I can use it right. I could have cut another piece and rolled it up, easy peasy, cut it to size, but I already had this one, so let's use this one. Just put it in your bead, and I'm going to do my glue and dip method. Just glue the end and then dip it in the moss. You got it yourself another tree. And now we're going to make a little bed. So we're going to make the mattress or the futon that goes on the bottom. Just follow the patterns. And it's basically you cut it out and fold it in half. Kind of leave it a little foofy just for the illusion of a mattress. And then for the quilt or duvet or, you know, that one, it's going to be kind of like a hexagon shape. And then you're going to cut a rectangle of the green polka dot. I'm going to do pretty much the pillow and this at the same time. So the pillow is pretty much the same thing. It's the white piece of material and then the light green polka dot on the outside. You'll see. For the bedspread or the quilt, you're just going to glue this piece over and then you're going to fold over all the edges. And this is another one where I just do one piece at a time, hold it down. Because it's tiny, it's a little bit easier to just hold it with your fingers for a few seconds, let it stick, and then go to the next corner. And that's pretty much the reason why I have glue all over my fingers. I have to rinse my hands so many times. I have to wash my hands and lotion my hands again because it dries it out from the soap, and oh my goodness. Who needs a manicure, right? And here's the pillow. You just basically roll it up and then cover it in the green material. We have a matching set. All right, we're already to building the building. This is the fun part. Or, well, it's all fun, you know. But this is where it starts to really look like something. So first off, like any other, we're going to wallpaper a few walls. And this wall has a backing, and it goes into that doorway there, kind of like a closet door. Just make sure it's facing the right direction when you put it in. And then you're going to glue it to the back. So definitely study the pictures. That's what I do. And I still miss it sometimes. And then we have another sliding door thing. Again, just make sure it's in the right direction. And just glue it right into the area there. This piece is the outside porch area. So it's just a long piece of wood. I'm going to make sure that the printing is on the bottom so you don't see it. And then you got two little teeny tiny legs. And I do use my little tray and dip it so that I don't get a lot of glue. All right, we got a little wind chime that blows in the wind here. So it's a tiny little piece of this gold wire, and you're going to kind of bend it into a lightning bolt shape. And then you're going to glue the green bead kind of at the first little knee there. The best way I can describe it. And then the tiny piece of paper that kind of flutters in the wind, that's going to go at the bottom. We're going to make a whole bunch of roof pieces. Now, I will say, so that you don't get mad at yourself, although they do give you a little extra, but make sure these patterns go on the back. If you do it the other way around, they're going to be backwards. So I cut out the patterns and then I traced them on the back of the gray piece. That's super important. You don't want them backwards and have to do them all over again. And then you got these long pieces that I didn't know what they were at first, but then later on oh, that's what they're for. They're the edges of the roof to fill in the cracks kind of thing. So I just used, you know how it has ribs? I just used the rib size and just cut them to size. And you should end up with a bunch of pieces like that. That's all your roof parts. This is our back wall, and you're going to see those two little, remember when you put your lights in specific spots? These two little holes are where the lights poke through. So that's why those two lights are probably as far as placement, are the important ones. Because they fit right in there. Now let's make a house. When doing this roof, don't worry too much about being crooked or anything like that. It just adds to the charm, right? It's just supposed to be a tin roof on there. Just get it as close as you can. Plus, you're going to get the, remember those little stick pieces we made? It covers the edges, so it makes it nice and neat and tidy. Here we go. We'll cover all those edges. It'll all make sense. And I might have switched a few pieces around. But that's okay. We got a little house. Yay! Now we gotta put some furniture inside. Now they said for the bed to not glue down the quilt because you can move your little bears around or whatever. Since I'm gonna glue my bears in and they're not gonna be moved around much, I left it unglued because I wasn't sure what they meant by that at first. But and it just kept falling off, of course. So later on, I ended up just gluing it down. And you have a lot of little tiny things that go on your shelves. The only thing that I didn't show was the little square picture. It's just cut in half. Or not cut in half, but cut and then fold it in half. And you just stick it in there. Easy. And then there's a little tiny fan that you cut out. And you just stick it in there. And these are little. There's our tree. Remember that? Time to do the living room. And I did, as I went, and I realized it later, but I forgot to put the cabinet in there. I missed a piece. I don't know how, but I put it in later. And with that, we have ourselves a little house. We'll set that aside to dry. Now we got to work on the outside stuff. So there's a little patch of grass here that has a pond. You just cut the pattern out. This one does go on top. So like the roof pieces, you did it from the back. This one you go to the front, because it fits on another piece that has the pond picture. And there's a little bench, little pavilion on the outside. So this is for the roof of the pavilion. And you're just going to kind of tile it. So you're going to cover it all. Make sure your grain goes one direction so it kind of looks like a thatched roof. So glue that on. I just glue it on and then cut it to size. And then you're going to make it another one that's about half that and glue it on top. So it looks like a layered thatch roof. And here's our little bench, all our little pieces. I'm just, they wanted kind of a red cushion on top. So I just glued the little bench directly onto the material. It's just a lot easier for me. Or you can cut it to size. They do have templates, and then just cut it out. There's two little side pieces. This is what holds the roof up. It's kind of like a little bus stop looking little place. While that's drying, I'm going to put the little porch out there that I forgot. I had the porch and the bench confused for a second. So that's where I realized, what is this then? Oh, it's the porch. So I just glue that on the outside, just like that. So now this piece should be dry enough to touch, and we're just going to put the roof on the top. On the right side of our little box theater, we have kind of a little hill with a railroad track, and then there's a little trolley. So this one we glue to the back of it. We're using the cardboard purely for structure. So glue that to the back, cut it out. If for some reason you had to use all your cardboard piece because you goofed on the roofs or something, just find yourself a piece of cardboard, you know, a cereal box or something like that. You're not going to see it, so it's purely for structural. And then we're just going to fold it up and glue it and clamp it and hold it there for a very long time because it keeps wanting to pop open. While we're holding it there, I'm going to glue the train tracks here. So it's just basically right on exactly where the picture is. It just kind of overflows so that it kind of looks like it's a continuation of the tracks. You kind of learn to do many things at once. And then what you're going to do is just going to glue. I just globbered a bunch of glue on each side and then glued the moss on each side. So we have a fuzzy little hill. Like that. And just fill in where you feel like it needs it. Well, we made train tracks. Now we got to make a train. At least the front of one. It's a cute little train too. So you're just going to put the little back end. This is kind of an illusion, a facade of a front of a train. You're going to glue it in layers. So here's the back. We're going to make the front end here. It's a couple little pieces. We'll glue it to the front. I did this whole kit, in about a day and a half. I took breaks, but it doesn't take that long. It's kind of a nice cleanser from doing some tough, big builds. Now, I would recommend waiting for this to dry enough for it to stand on its own. If I did this, leaning it on the side while it was still wet, it would just crumble. So patience is the key. Go take a lunch break, and by the time you get back, it should be dry enough to do your next step. So we're just going to do the roof. Then we're going to do I guess it's supposed to be the wheels, maybe? and the little label on front. And we got ourselves a train. All right, let's put it together. Now for the cherry blossom tree or the Sakura tree, they give you one big pretty tree and you're just going to chop it all up. So basically, I kind of just first tried cutting it just in half. There's a lot of little branches and there is no wrong way of doing this. I discovered my scissors aren't going to do it here. I'm going to use my little wire cutter nippers. They worked pretty well. And just cut the heck out of it. Just cut it up. Just make sure you end up with at least one large piece and then a bunch of little pieces. Once you get a bunch of pieces, then just glue it what looks right to you. So you can see the picture in the background. Kind of go by that. So there's one big tree and then just kind of flow it all across. They show you a reference picture, but honestly, I just put them all in there because I liked it. And this is when I was like, I have an extra piece. Oh no! So we'll put it in there. It's tricky, but this way I can show you, even if you goof, you can still fix it. It's looking pretty good. I like all the little flowers. Anybody sneezing? It's that time. So let's put all the rest of the stuff in there. When you landscape this, you can honestly just do whatever you want. You have a bunch. I mean, they give you a lot of the moss stuff, a whole bag. You don't need it, but so you could go crazy if you wanted to. I just kind of put it here and there, and then any of the little pink petals that fell from when you cut it up, you could put those around too. Make it very pretty and pink. And for the bears, you can put them anywhere you feel like. I liked how they had her sitting on the little porch here, so we'll sit her there. And then the little boy bear, I think I decided to put him behind the fence, like he's coming to visit her. Very cute. He just got off the train, so now he's gonna come visit. Little girly bear. Make your own story. It is a theater after all. Make your own play. Or maybe they're brother and sister. I don't know. I like that, he visit his friend. We got the main part, the cute part. Now we got to make it extra cute. So what it's got on the top is kind of the story. So what you're making is a little envelope with just some kind of, if anybody does scrapbooking, like little keepsakes and little just cute things. So you're making an envelope and then you're going to put your two little things in there. And then next, you are going to make the little storybook. So you're going to do the outside cover, and this will bring you back to, has anybody ever done the brown paper over their textbooks? Kind of the same method. They give you a tiny little magnet, and I had no idea what this was for until now. So you're going to stick it, you see that circle you made there? You're going to glue it right there. And this is so that your little book sticks to the tin when you put it on the top. And then you're going to make the inside pages. There's 2 sets of Z folds. Just kind of a filler. We've done this. It's kind of nice to do it in a slightly bigger form. You're going to glue the 2 parts together like that-ish. And then you're going to glue each page together. And then glue your pages into the book cover. I originally did it upside down because I opened it up and was like, wait a minute. I did fix it later. Then you have this little corner piece that basically holds the book closed. You don't want to glue this onto the book because otherwise then you won't be able to open it whenever you want to. But I do use the book kind of as a guide of where it should go. And it should end up a little like that. And now let's finish the top. Just going to put the little poem up there and then put our cute little scrapbooky things. And we're done. And there we go. The cutest little thing you've ever seen. I really like this. It's adorable. Thank you for whoever suggested this. You know who you are. I love ya. So we got the cute little top with all our poems and our pictures and things like that. And then, of course, the main event, our little dessert shop and house and train and our little happy little bears that we'll make a story about, right? I hope you like this. This was really fun. I like learning new things, and this was definitely a even smaller scale. I think this is the smallest scale I've done so far. I don't think I want to go any smaller than this. And if you like it, definitely give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe. You know the rigmarole. And I love you guys. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.